There really aren't many more words for this, but amazing. Giving people new hope and new eyesight every 3 minutes. You do forget you're on a boat.
So what made you get involved with this, Rudy?
Well, I have quite advanced COPD, you see. So.
I do. So you've got a lung condition. So
Indeed, I have.
That's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So quite a...
Yeah. Mostly emphysema.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello.
Okay.
Okay. সুখবর। ইম্প্যাক্ট জীবন্তরী ভাসমান হাসপাতাল এখন কালীগঞ্জে। এখানে চোখের ছানি পড়া, জন্মগত বাঁকাপা, পোলিওজনিত কারণে বাঁকাপা, জন্মগত ঠোঁট কাটা এবং নাক কান গলা রোগীদের ব্যবস্থাপত্র প্রদান সহ অপারেশনের জন্য।
In Bangladesh, tens of millions of people are cut off from healthcare. Unaffordable prices and thousands of kilometers of waterways stand in their way. But one organization has found an ingenious way to navigate this challenge. I'm Nidhi Dutt, about to board Bangladesh's first floating hospital. Rehan?
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. You know, more than 700 rivers in the country. So there is lots of people, and almost every district there is a river passing through their locality. So for those people, Jibontari is an unique venture because this is their permanent residence and there is no infrastructure for other health facility. Every day, hundreds of people are treated here.
Uncle, what's the problem?
কানে সমস্যা আমার
Can't hear.
সব তোর কথা শুনতে অসুবিধা হয় আমার লোক কতই কয় না জোরে কয় যে এই লেগে
No one talks to him, as he cannot see.
আমার দেখলে আরো দূরে হ্যালো কথা কয়ে দেন না কানে শুনে না
Every morning, patients register before boarding the boat to be seen by one of the eye, ENT, or orthopedic specialists. Over the last 15 years, more than 400,000 patients have been seen in 26 different locations across the country. At present, the 3 medics on board are Mr. Azizul, the orthopedic device specialist, Dr. Mehboob, the administrator and eye specialist, and Dr. Joy, ear, nose, and throat specialist.
আতিক আটজন পেশেন্ট ছেড়ে দাও নাক কান গলার কি আটজন ছাড়ো আটজন নাক কান গলার কি ছাড়ো
কানে ব্যথা করে পানি পরে পুষ পরে
না
করে না
ব্যথা করে না পানি পড়ে না পুষ পড়ে না কানে কোনো দুর্গন্ধ নাই কিচ্ছু নাই
শুধু কানে শুনেন না
হ্যাঁ এমনিতে কানে শুনি না
দেখি একটু কানটা একটু দেখে হ্যাঁ actually it is very clean maybe there is a neurological problem due to aging ঠিক আছে বাবা এটার জন্য আপনার কোনো সমস্যা নাই ঠিক আছে এটা বয়সের সমস্যা বয়সের সমস্যার কারণে আপনি শুনতেছেন না, বুঝতে পারছেন? আপনি করতে পারেন মেশিন নিয়ে শুনতে পারেন, এই যে কানে মেশিন লাগাইয়া এটা শোনা যাইতে পারে আর কি।
কানে কোনো সমস্যা নাই
না,
মনে করি মরে যাবো আর চিকিৎসা করে লাভ কি? আদে মরি না, মরবো করে আর চিকিৎসা করলাম না।
Ready? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Joy.
Most of the medical practitioners in Bangladesh, they like to work in central, especially Dhaka, the big cities, Chittagong, Rajshahi, like this, and they don't want to come in the periphery or rural areas. We have to think about our community, our disadvantaged people, poor people, and so we have to help them. We have to think about them.
So we're with Mr. Ajij. Mr. Ajij is a device technician, so he's got a prosthetic in his hand actually, and he's coming to see people that have a disability, that are looking for services. He also provides basic physiotherapy, and that could be anything from movement to how to wear a device. So we're about to find out.
Disability affects an estimated 16 million people in Bangladesh, 80% of whom live in rural areas. They suffer not just the physical disability itself, but also severe social stigma. Mr. Azizul uses simple devices to straighten and strengthen deformed limbs, such as clubfoot and post-polio paralysis.
যদি হাতটা এমনি সোজা করতে যায় তাহলে মনে করেন যে সবসময় তো এইভাবে থাকে, তো একটু কষ্ট হয় আর কি। আর হাতের এর দিক দিয়ে এমনি সম্পূর্ণ ভালো সব, কিন্তু শুধু এইখান থেকে
স্কুলে লেখাপড়া করে
খারাপ ভাষায় গালি দিছে, এইটা
মানুষ মনে করেন হ্যাঁ একটু সমস্যা প্রতিবন্ধী, একটু টিক্স করে আর কি, নানান ধরনের কথা বলে, ওর মনে কষ্ট আসে অবশ্যই। সে করার মতো, যাতায়াত করার মতো, নেওয়ার মতো কোনো লোক নাই, বুঝছেন? আমি সবার বড়, ও আমার ছোট, আর ভাই দুইটা ছোট ছোট, আব্বা নাই, বুঝছেন?
Asma, what kind of burden has this been for your family, this illness for, 10 years now, I think?
সুস্থ থাকলে তো সবাই ভালোবাসতো, তাই না? অসুস্থতার কারণে তো কারো কাছে ভালো থাকবে না সারা জীবন, ঠিক না? একটা বোঝা হয়ে আসছে, তাই মনে করেন এক সামর্থ্য কম, তারপরে আব্বা নাই, এটা বাসায় তো সবাই বলে, তাই নিয়ে আসছি, এখন দেখি আল্লাহ।
These simple but effective straps, which have been designed and built by the Impact Foundation in Bangladesh, aim to straighten out these sorts of deformities in 6 months to a year.
What is the cause of this disability?
এটা হচ্ছে অনেক সময় ডেলিভারির সময়, অনেক সময় টাইফয়েড জ্বর।
Typhoid. Okay, so he's suggesting in Shima's case it's a case of typhoid. So when she was young, she's obviously had typhoid, and the end result of a lack of treatment or diagnosis has been paralysis and disability.
Half of all disabilities are easily preventable. In Bangladesh, up to 90% of disabled people never receive any help. And as the stigma of disability marginalizes individuals socially and economically, the impact can be felt not only on them, but their families and friends. Over the last few years, the Jibonthori have tried to tackle this social stigma by running community leader workshops, where they dispel preconceptions about the origins of disability with imams, school teachers, and local community heads.
Colombia in South America has become the first country in the world to eliminate river blindness, the World Health Organization has confirmed. The disease is the second leading infectious cause of blindness globally and also produces skin rashes and lesions. The anti-parasitic drug ivermectin has been handed out for 12 years as part of the country's elimination program. 90% of the disease occurs in Africa, but it is also prevalent in Latin America and the Yemen in the Arabian Peninsula.
Our genetic makeup accounts for only about 10% of the diseases we suffer. Most are due to environmental factors, such as the air we breathe, the food we eat, and the lives we lead. I'm Dr. Geoff Lacey, and I'm here in London, England, to find out about a groundbreaking project that plans to map the risks posed to us by our surroundings. The Exposomics project is a European Commission-funded project that plans to map the effect that our lifetime exposure to the environment has on our bodies and our development of disease. This could be groundbreaking when it comes to predicting or preventing disease. Professor Paolo Venace is the general coordinator of the project.
We are looking at several diseases that we think may be related to pollution, including lung cancer, cardiovascular disease, respiratory diseases, asthma in children, and neurodevelopment. We try to link measurements of pollutants in the environment with the changes in molecules and with diseases.
So the big step forward with this project compared to research in the past is looking at the molecular changes that pollutants have and how that then might impact development of disease.
Yes, yeah.
One of the key measurements being tested in cities across Europe is the effect that air pollution has on our bodies and our health. Hundreds of volunteers are involved, and in London, the test is taking place on Oxford Street, one of the most polluted streets in the city.
Hard, very good.
So Eddie's just having his baseline breathing tests, so he's looking at how fast he can blow out air and also the volume within his lungs. And then he's going to go on the 2-hour walk up and down Oxford Street, and then they'll repeat the tests afterwards to see if there's any change in those results. And so aside from the lung function tests you're doing now, is there any other monitoring or testing you do?
We've got a whole series of investigations that we sort of spend 2.5 hours in the morning doing before we come out here. Laura and Eddie have both got 24-hour ECG monitors on.
So that's measuring their heart.
That's right.
And then you'll have the monitoring of the heart throughout for the next
20 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Really, can you take me through what this very impressive looking backpack is?
So essentially we're monitoring air pollution in real time. We're measuring different sizes of particles. Yeah. We're measuring carbon as well. And we're measuring also very, very fine particles that are quite unique to diesel engines as well.
So then you'll know exactly the kind of air that the volunteers have been breathing in a 2-hour walk. So today you've got 2 hours walking up and down.
To absorb all the lovely fumes.
So what made you get involved with this, really?
Well, I have quite advanced COPD, you see. So.
I do. So you've got a lung condition. So
Indeed, I have.
That's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So quite a...
Mostly emphysema. But of course they reckon that the biggest cause of COPD is smoking.
Yeah.
But I haven't smoked for decades.
Yeah.
And my specialist thinks I'm unlucky.
Yeah.
He said he can't explain it exactly. He can't correlate exact cause and effect. So.
Eddie's case is a classic example of the unclear link between our exposure to the environment and the diseases we suffer from, and is what the research team are trying to address. And so I suppose it's very pertinent to you that if this research achieves its goal, then potentially your condition could have been prevented. You could have been told early on you're at risk of developing this, you know, and you could have changed your lifestyle and avoided that.
Indeed.
Development.
I'm sure that's the case, yes.
And blow hard, good. Keep blowing, keep blowing.
So Eddie's just having his lung function test done again, having just walked around the street for 2 hours. Just to see if there's any changes from his test done before the walk. So.
Brilliant, well done.
And really, we're now going to go back to the Brompton Hospital.
That's right, yeah. We're going to go back and we're going to continue a series of tests, basically the ones we did this morning. We're going to repeat lung function at several time points. We're going to do various other breathing tests.
Eddie's about to have his blood test done, which is another of the tests that have been done after his walk down Oxford Street. And really, what are these blood tests going to be looking for then?
So we're looking at markers of inflammation, and we're going to compare these to the test we did before this morning, before we went out on the walk. And we're also looking at markers that relate to cardiovascular risk as well.
The data from Eddie's test is added to the results of the volunteers from all across Europe. The blood from the Oxford Street volunteers is brought to King's College London. So this is where some of the samples in the Exposomics project are analysed,
Yes, that's right. They come here and we start with the blood samples, isolate the protein, digest it up and then analyse it for changes resulting from the environmental exposures.
The hope is that with all the results from across Europe, the team will be able to create a very specific understanding of how our bodies are affected by our environment.
In terms of public health, knowing who is at high risk is very valuable information for targeting preventative approaches. We know that air pollution is bad for human health. Yeah. We want to know how bad, which particular components are most responsible for that, and how we can measure accurately that those people who've been exposed and therefore those people who are at risk. You know, the whole purpose of this is to try and stop people becoming ill, to identify those at risk and intervene before they become ill.
Each week, the hospital schedules orthopedic, plastic or eye surgeries. Today, 71 men and women have been booked in for cataract surgery.
না দেখলে অপারেশন হবে না এভাবে করে থাকো দুইটা 1 ফিট মতো দেখে only 1 feet 1 feet অপারেশন হবে এইটা
মনে করেন আমার বাচ্চা ছেলে মেয়ে আছে তাদের স্কুলে লেখা দুইটা ছেলে মেয়ে আছে এক ছেলে এক মেয়ে তারা স্কুলে যায় লেখাপড়ার সময় ঘরে লেখাপড়া দেখাই দেওয়ার লাগে বা রান্নাবাড়ি করে সংসারে সব কিছু গোছার লাগে এগুলা লেগে সমস্যা ভয় তো এখন লাগতেছে যে অপারেশন করলে কেমন জানি লাগে ডর অনেক ভয় লাগতেছে তখন আমার অনেক অনেক খুশি হইব বাচ্চা কাচ্চা লয়ে সব কিছু ঠিক মতো করতে পারবো সবাই আর কি খুশি হইব
So it's almost standing room only on the operating floor of this floating hospital. We've got everybody, the 71 patients who are here for cataract operations tonight. The only person we are missing is the surgeon. Now he's running late. He's coming from the capital, Dhaka, and he'll be operating throughout the night for a good 5 or 6 hours.
In the last 14 years, over 25,000 cataract operations have been performed on the boat. Dr. Habib, an eye surgeon from the capital Dhaka, has performed over 4,500 operations alone.
I like to work here. I cannot help in my hospital that charge too much. Minimum cost of one cataract surgery is $10. And here this almost free of cost. I can help a lot of people here, and I enjoy it. I like very much do cataract surgery, and once upon a time it was competition, me and with my other doctors, colleague doctors, how many can do, which doctor I can do, and nobody can. I the first man. Within 3 minutes I can do cataract surgery. After my hospital's duty, and at night time, I serve the poor people here. I'm also a poor family. Now I'm a doctor. I want to like to help them.
This surprisingly quick operation brings back sight in minutes. The cataract is a buildup of protein on the lens of the eye, hardened to form an obstruction and cause haziness to sight. During the operation, the front of the lens capsule is cut open, and the hardened old lens, or cataract, is removed.
Cataract. Wow. Hypermature. This is called hypermature. It's very hard, just like stone. Okay.
A new plastic lens is then inserted back into the eye.
So this one is artificial lens. Operation is finished.
Over 500,000 people in Bangladesh are cataract blind.
There really aren't many more words for this, but amazing. It's just looking at a brilliant, brilliant team of people led by a really specialized surgeon and an absolute clockwork-like staff, just turning patients around, effectively giving people new hope and new eyesight every 3 minutes. It's complete dead silence. You do forget you're on a boat. And now it's Parul's turn.
আমার মনের ভিতরে কাজ করতেছে যে আমি যদি অন্ধ হয়ে থাকি তো আমাকে কেউ দেখাশোনা করার মতো নাই, তাই ভেবে আমি বলছি আমাকে অপারেশন করার জন্য চেষ্টা চালাচ্ছি যাতে আমার চোখ ভালো হয়, আমি আবার আগের মতো দেখতে পারি।
Surgery went on for 4 hours. 71 patients were seen. Men and women stay and eat on the boat for one night's recovery.
I asked everybody, and they're okay, everyone. Everyone is okay.
তুমি কোন তরি আইছো? আয়া পড়ছো না? আচ্ছা ওই যাচ্ছে পড়ছে কারোর এমনি পরিষ্কার দেখা যাচ্ছে, তবে ভিতরে যেমন একটা কাউস করলে যেমন একটা খারাপ লাগে এমন যেমন লাগে একটু সমস্যা। চোখ ভালো হয়েছে তাই আমি আমার বাড়ি যাওয়ার জন্য আমার স্বামী ছেলে আসছে ওদের সাথে আমি তাড়াতাড়ি চলে যাব।
Although sight has been restored, patients are to use an eye patch for the next few weeks. They will return to the boat for checkups, and the eye will have healed completely in 1 to 2 months. The floating hospital usually stays in one place until patient numbers start to drop off. So far, this hasn't happened, and the Jibon Tori has been serving the community of Kaliganj for the last 6 months.
We are about 37 members, 37 staffs. There is doctors, nurses, technicians, and security staffs. We are living here like family. Actually, I don't know when it will be finished, Jibon Tori. I think it will run forever.
Haven't even had a chance to put the helmet down yet. Huh? Merci, merci, Michel. There we go, literally off the bike and straight into the welcome dance, apparently. Dancing?